We also, it was Friday Night SmackDown last night, and I had time to watch the first segment, and I want to make mention of this because this was a talking segment that flew by, that was so good that you wanted to hear, that you were involved in, and you wanted to see what happened at the end. And when you did see it, you're like, they got me. And I know you can't have that in every segment because you don't have enough Paul Heymans and Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn's, but in this case, we'll talk more about the rest of SmackDown on the drive-through in a few days, but the first segment, out comes Roman Reigns with the Bloodline, Solo, and both the Usos, and Heyman, and Sami. And everybody involved in this was perfect in what they did. All Roman Reigns has to do is stand there, and he can talk, but when he's a man of few words because he's got Heyman do the other stuff, it just makes him look like a bigger star. Heyman is tremendous. The inflection, the verbal capacity, the expressions, my God. And Sami Zayn was perfect in this. They did a long tease about how now that they had Solo, it looked like they were going to kick Sami out of the group. Even to the point of Reigns saying, take that Bloodline shirt off. I don't want to see you wearing that again. And Sami's facial expressions and the humana in his voice and his attitude. And then finally the reveal is that Roman Reigns has him a new t-shirt, Honorary Uce. And then the relief on Sami's face. And now Jay's the one that doesn't like him, right?
I don't know which one.
Yeah. Well, whatever. Jey Uso's, God damn it, because he knew that Sami was about to get kicked out. They have built this thing perfect with this dynamic in the group, and everybody's doing a great job with it. And it was entertaining to watch. And even though, yes, you can examine. If Sami Zayn was a grown-up adult, he probably wouldn't be doing many of the things he's doing or thinking many of the things he's thinking. But the way they've done it and talk about it and carry it off, you don't sit there and it doesn't slap you in the face. You can take the ride with him. You can work with him on it. And that's what wrestling used to be. And, at least this is somewhat entertaining. So I like that part of SmackDown. I don't know what the fuck else is going to go on. We'll see that when we get to it.
I thought it was great. Sami Zayn is perfect in this role, and the facial expressions from him and Roman Reigns, the way everything was built up here, as cheesy as it could be, it worked. And I thought it was great. It was the highlight of the show, the 15 minutes of them standing there and talking. I don't know what else to say about it. Really.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. Cheesy doesn't always equate with phony or silly if it's talented people doing the deal that can make you believe, because Sami Zayn can make you believe that he's that weaselly fucking chicken shit, the whole 9 yards. But now the people are starting to get behind it because they want to see him welcomed into the fucking group or whatever. And they were chanting for him, Sami, Sami. They thought he was going to get fucked up, and he didn't. So they were pleased about it. But that's the thing, is we just need about 5 more Heymans, 6 more Roman Reigns, and I never thought I'd say this, a couple more Sami Zayns.
Well, make sure when you watch SmackDown, you watch the next match, which was Liv Morgan versus Lacey Evans.
Oh, boy. You know what? I may need to scramble the signal on that one. And I mentioned this earlier, Brian. You said you didn't want to Google certain things like I love you, Colonel Sanders, or how to have sex with a chicken, or whatever it may be.
No, that was not it. It was, is it legal to have sex with a sheep in Japan?
You did, yeah, that's one of the things. And when you Googled it last time, you didn't think about it. But now that we've been having these commercials.
No, I've never Googled that.
I thought you were going to say you've never thought about it afterwards.
I've never thought about it. I've never Googled it.
Folks, if you need to Google where it's legal to have sex with a sheep or anything else, then sometimes or anything else, sometimes you might not want everybody knowing what you're doing on the internet, right? And we've said that going online without something to protect your security on your internet system is like leaving your kids with the nearest stranger while you're using the bathroom. Most of the time it's probably fine, but every once in a while you end up having to buy that child back on the dark web. And those kids can get expensive enough just raising them normally without having to buy them back every couple of years. So why would you ever want to risk that? That's a lot of money. As a matter of fact, a lot of kids are left in situations like that where their parents can't afford to purchase them back, and they end up becoming wards of the state and costing us all a bunch of money. But that's what happens to you, folks.
No.
Every time you connect to an unencrypted network, you run the risk of having to buy your own children back from the dark web. And anytime you get on the internet in cafes, hotels, airports, whorehouses, the Bunny Ranch out in Nevada, basically any network that is not your own, your online data is not secured. So any hacker on the same network can gain access to and steal your personal data. I'm talking about your passwords, financial details, your Swiss bank accounts.
Candid photography.
Candid photography, that's a big one they're wanting to try to steal. The names of all of your people on Adult Friend Finder, anything.
This again.
Well, ExpressVPN, those folks create a secure encrypted tunnel between your device and the internet so that hackers cannot steal your data. Once they build this tunnel that's in between the device, your device, and the internet, they will take a gerbil or a small furry animal and run it through the tunnel to make sure there's no blockages. So you could have a gerbil running around back and forth in between your tunnel on the first day.
No, you won't. No, they don't. And of course, this is a virtual tunnel. But to tie it back to what you're saying, if you were on Adult Friend Finder and you had a lot of friends, maybe you can use this virtual tunnel to hide them as they sneak out.
Yes, because that's what your internet service provider does to you. You know, we've been talking about this, and it's a growing problem. I'm reading about it everywhere. When they come to your house to work on your internet, 2 guys show up. When they leave, only one leaves because the other one is inside your walls. And your internet service provider is keeping an eye on what you do on your computer so that they can potentially sell that information to foreign governments or your own wife. So, if you go to ExpressVPN, like I said, they build that tunnel. They come in with all kinds of heavy equipment. It won't take long, 1 or 2 weeks at most. And there'll be a tunnel underneath your home all the way to your internet service provider. And inside that tunnel, they will put a guard dog to keep that guy that secreted himself inside your walls from coming out through the plugs and or the dryer vent in the middle of the night.
How would that happen?
What did you see that article on the news? Not article on the, but report on the news of the guy that was secreted in the wall and tried to come through the dryer vent in the middle of the night, and the dog actually got him and stopped him. Ate his nose off when he was stuck there, and he was stuck there. His head was sticking out. And the dog just came and started chewing on his nose. It was gruesome footage. But ExpressVPN will protect you from having your nose eaten by a dog. You won't even have to get inside the wall. They do it for you. And folks, if you're convinced that you need ExpressVPN worse than a sick man needs penicillin, and you should, because you do, all you got to do is go to ExpressVPN. Let me spell that for you. VPN. ExpressVPN.com/JCE. You fire up the app, you click one button, you are instantly protected. And there's no protection like ExpressVPN. I'm telling you, the chances of you impregnating anyone once you're protected by ExpressVPN are nil. And you'll get 3 extra months free when you /JCE. Go to expressvpn.com/JCE. 3 extra months free. Protect your devices, your laptops, your phones, your tablets, your plug-in vibrators, whatever you need to protect. ExpressVPN will keep an eye on it for you. So you can just put it down sometimes just on the sidewalk and walk off. ExpressVPN will be keeping an eye on it. You'll know where it is at all points. ExpressVPN.